Hey guys, what's going on? It's your girl Roxy here, and I want to welcome you to today's video. So today, I want to do a little bit of debunking, and more specifically, I want to get into an important conversation when it comes to your nutrition, because I feel like there is so much misinformation and disinformation and just craziness in the area of nutrition and how you should be approaching your diet in the most sane way to see the results that you want from all the efforts that you're putting in. And today I want to have a conversation about macros versus calories. Like, what is the most important? What does most of the science out there truly say when it comes to getting the results that you want? And which one should you be paying attention to in this process? So we're going to be talking about that today. And before we do jump in, I want to say welcome to my new subscribers. If you're here for the very first time, I'm so happy to have you. For my returning subscribers and viewers, hey there, what's going on, y'all? I'm so happy and I'm always so honored to have you guys back here with me. If you are totally new, why don't you do this for me right now? Subscribe to my channel and make sure that you click the bell notification so that way every time I put out a new video, you do not miss a thing. And while we're at it right now, stop right now, whether you are new or you're returning, go ahead and give me a thumbs up right now. If you do that, it tells YouTube that this video is worth seeing and worth sharing by everyone across the platform and spreading some good information when it comes to health, fitness, and nutrition. For those of you that are meeting me for the very first time, my name is Roxy Beckles. I'm a fitness professional that's been in the industry for over 21 years. I'm a former IFBB pro, and I have the privilege of competing at the 2014 Olympia in women's physique. And now I'm retired from all of that. But what I do now is I get to help women from around the globe to rewrite their stories, to embrace themselves, to work on appreciating themselves, work on self-love and self-care, and to do it all through the vehicle of fitness. So let's go ahead and jump right in. So, the topic of calories versus macros. What is the most important and what do you have to pay attention to? Well, one of the things that I have to tell you is that at the end of the day, you can't fight science. You cannot fight the law of thermodynamics within the body. And essentially speaking, that calories in equals calories out. Now, when we're talking about that, we're talking about metabolism on the whole. And if your metabolism and if your body is at a place that's healthy, that's fully functional, at the end of the day, it's always going to be calories in, calories out. Now, we know that the human body, though, is far more complex than that. And calories in, calories out doesn't always work when you're thinking about in terms of how metabolism can be affected by various hormones or physical and medical conditions. I don't want to get into that conversation right now. I've talked about other things on my stories. On my stories, like this is Instagram. I talked about this on other videos on my channel where I, discussed how hormones affect the body. You can go ahead and take a look at those videos specifically if you're having any kind of issues with your thyroid, your adrenals, or anything like that. But let's consider that you have a perfectly healthy metabolism at this point. And when that's the case, it's still calories in, calories out at the end of the day. If you're looking to lose fat or to lose weight, you need to consume less calories than your body needs to survive. If you're looking to maintain your weight, you need to eat as many calories as your body needs to maintain your weight where it is. If you are looking to put on lean muscle, and do know that when you are trying to build up, you need to eat in a surplus, and therefore you're going to put on some body fat in that whole process as well. But at the end of the day, you have to eat more than what your body needs to be able to maintain your weight. So calories in and calories out is always going to be the driving factor, okay? So when you're going through your diet, and you're trying to figure out like how much do I need to be eating to see fat loss, put yourself in a deficit. Number one, point blank, the end. Now, how much of a deficit you need that's a kind of detailed conversation, and it's something I don't want to get into right now because I want to keep this particular video very brief. But if you are someone who is interested in learning how to create diets for yourself, you're someone who wants to learn how to figure out your own macros based off of your body type, and then how to put that all together into a meal plan that's based off of flexible dieting, that includes all the foods that you love, and to really make it work for you, and you want to do this on your own, then I want you to stick around towards the end of this video, because I have something that I want to share with you about my membership community, my Rockstar Fitness membership community that I have hosted over on Patreon. I have some e-courses and stuff like that where I break this down specifically for you to learn how to do this yourself, okay? But at the end of the day, calories in, calories out is always going to be the ruling driving factor behind any change you want to see. Now that we have that established, let's say you figure out that, hey, I need to eat 1,800 calories a day to see the fat loss or changes that I want, or to maintain my body, whatever it is for you, your goals, all right? And now how do you structure those 1,800 calories becomes the next question. Because you got 3 major macros, and if you really want to get into it, you got like 4 macros. Or actually, if you really want to get into it, you kind of technically have 5, but the 5th one is fiber, so it's kind of a little weird. So we're not really talking about that one, but you do have like 4 macros that you can consider. Okay, you got your proteins, carbs, fat, and for those of you that like to drink a glass of wine or 2, you got the alcohol to consider as well. Listen, we're all adults here. I'm not judging. Okay, I'm just being completely honest with you. And so it becomes, how do you divide that in a way that works for your body? And that's where macros come in. And in that respect, I mean, that's where you start falling into things like, do I do a 40-40-20? 40%, carbohydrates, 40% protein, and 20% fat. Do I do keto, where I leave my fats at like 5% of my diet and below, and up the fats and you leave the carbs at 5% and below, and your fats are way up there, and so is the protein, similar to a low carb approach. Do I do a Mediterranean 40-30-30, or any of the myriad of other setups that you can set your macros towards? Now, the thing about macros is that it's such an individual thing, and it really depends on your body. And in some cases, this is where knowing where your hormones are can also come into play. Because someone who's insulin resistant, for instance, wouldn't necessarily do well on a diet that's high in carbohydrates. You would need to be on a diet that has a lower amount of carbohydrates, maybe a higher amount of fat and moderate protein, to help your body to get back to where it needs to be. If you're someone who has a super high metabolism because you have a small frame and you're more of that, let's say, ectomorphic, skinnier type of body that just blows through food, I mean, you might do better with a diet that is higher in carbohydrates, because your body needs that energy to fuel your day and for you to actually put some weight on your body. You also probably need to be eating a surplus as well, but I got to do another video for y'all too. But the macros part is the part that is, I feel like, more tweakable towards what your needs are. And there have been enough studies that actually say that it's not necessarily the macro setup that's the biggest determining factor in seeing the progress that you want to see when it comes to your fat loss in particular. I think these studies were done, but it's calories in, calories out. That was the biggest driving factor behind change. Now, based off of that, you might ask, so how do I start off? How do I decide? I teach you about that in my e-course that's in my community, my membership community over on Patreon. And I also teach this to my one-on-one coaching clients as well, as a part of our curriculum, and helping them to become independent. So when they leave my coaching practice, they know how to do that on their own. If that's something that you want access to, I'll tell you about that at the end. But just for the sake of this video, what I like to say to do, if you're just brand new at setting this stuff up, and let's say you figured out your calories per day, and now you're trying to break it up for your diet, start off really super simple. Sometimes I like to do like a 40-30-30 for someone. If I were to tell them, all right, this is what you can do: 40% protein, 30% carbs, 30% fat. Set that up for yourself. Use MyFitnessPal or similar to put that together and see how your body does. You see, the first thing that you want to do is just establish a base and a foundation for which you're going to base everything else, so you can progress things the way that you need to. This whole game is about experimentation. And the one thing that I will say is that the only absolute in this life or in this equation when it comes to training and nutrition, all that stuff, is that there are no absolutes. So the only absolute is that there are no absolutes. So start it off something super simple, just like that, 40, 30, 30. Put it in action and see how your body does with this over a 1 week period or even a 2 week period. See what the biofeedback is. Are you losing weight if your goal is weight loss? Are you maintaining if your goal is to maintain? Or are you putting on weight if your goal is to lean build? And then from there, you can make tweaks. I would also say to look at your measurements, look at your pictures, look how your clothes fit, because you need to look at things from the totality, not just from the data from the scale, because that's one aspect. And in fact, I like to say we use the scale simply to set your calories. We don't use it to dictate progress on a greater degree because other factors come into play. Look at all your biofeedback and then decide, is this working for me? Do I need to tweak things? Maybe I want to try to see, after 3 or 4 weeks on a basic plan, what happens if I lower my carbohydrates and do a low carb plan or keto plan? How does my body respond with that? And I think when you come from that perspective of setting that foundation for yourself and then experimenting to see what works, that's how you're going to be able to find the answers over time. But the number one thing that I would say is that the calories are what matter. The calories are the driving factor. And then everything else that you can place upon that becomes a tool in the toolbox for you to use. And here's the crazy thing about the body. Sometimes something that you might have done in the past works perfectly, but you're in a different hormonal state down the line, your body changes, you shift, things happen. And sometimes that approach doesn't work anymore. So you have to be able to switch it up. But still at the end of the day, it's calories in, calories out. So have some flexibility, have the confidence to be able to try things out and to just really listen to your body. The more you can become in tune with your body and the way that it's responding, the better this fitness stuff will be. Because guys, it's not rocket science, it's just science, for God's sake. And all of us who are in the know, who have studied this stuff for years and years and have put this into practice, had to learn it from somewhere. And a lot of it also happens from trial and error of putting this stuff on hundreds upon hundreds of people. So I'm bringing to you thousands upon thousands upon thousands of hours of hands-on work that I've seen with other people, other women just like you, and even for my guys that watch us, other men just like you. So when I'm telling you these things, these aren't things I'm making up in my mind. These are things that are supported by science, number one, and number two, that have real world evidence behind it. And when you're listening to fitness advice, that's what I want you to ask yourself. It's like, what's the evidence say? What does the science say? Because when you can go with that, then you know that you're going in the right direction. Okay? So I hope that today's discussion kind of cleared that up for you. Listen, once again, if you are on my channels right now and you like the stuff that I share, do me a simple favor by subscribing and hitting the bell notifications. That way when I go live or I release new videos, you know right away. Even if you are already subscribed, just go ahead and click that bell and make sure you get all notifications, just everything kind of like sent to you right away. And sometimes they'll even send them by email, which is super convenient, so you don't miss a thing. And give this video a thumbs up. You don't have to buy anything from me to give me support in that way. So give this video a thumbs up so that way the people that actually want to work with me, that they can find me, honey. And we can really change some lives, because that's what it's all about for me. And then finally, for those of you who are out there who do want to work with me, you want to be able to take your training to the next level. You want to take your body, you want to take your life to the next level. And this is for my ladies, because I work with women. And ladies, the most frustrating thing for me out there right now in fitness is that everybody's having the same fluffer nutter conversation. I mean, how many times can somebody tell you how to squat when you ask them how to build up your legs, or you want to do this and that? Or how many times can they tell you to do some more cardio or do this and all the fluffy stuff, but not get to the heart of the matter of the why it matters to you and what it is that you need to do as an individual to not only get the changes in the gym and in the kitchen, but to keep it for a lifetime. And that's the stuff that I bring to the table. We go deep, honey. We go deep to help you to shift and change for the better. So here's what I want you to do, okay? There's two ways that you can work with me. If you want one-on-one coaching, you want to work with me by your side, you want me to actually bring you under my wing, and my program is so freaking hands-on, it's crazy. Honey, you're not going to fail with me. You can be a competitor or a non-competitor. You don't have to want to step on the stage ever in your life to work with me. All right, you just have to be someone who's ready to make the investment of time, energy, money, and everything to make themselves be better, a better woman in this world. Come to my website, rockstarfitness.com/claritycall. Fill in an application and set your 30-minute appointment so that way we can talk, okay? It's just a simple talk, complimentary. I may or may not say yes to you depending on what it is that I need to do for you, and kind of will decide from there. If coaching is out of your budget right now, not everybody can do that, and that's okay. You are the reason why I have my Empowered Feminine Fitness mentorship program. You're the reason why I have that available for you guys to go ahead and join right now if you wish. Pay one monthly fee to have access to amazing workouts and a whole library of master classes and journaling prompts and motivational meditations, group coaching calls to be able to talk with me, our Facebook group for support. Right now, I am actually launching my membership community this week, and it is packed with over 30 hours of video content where I am teaching you everything I know about how to create programs, from meal training to workouts and more. Okay, and you're not going to want to miss that. Head over to www.patreon.com/rockstarfitness. That's ROXSTAR Fitness, and you can see the current list, the itinerary with all of the programs, all of it listed right there, so you can kind of decide whether it's right for you. Join on the spot, have immediate access, and get going right away. So those are two options for you to be able to work with me. I really hope that you let me into your life in a deeper way, and we can help you to get to that next level together. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me on this video. Go ahead and post your comments below, because I'll be more than delighted to help you and answer your questions and to really just, enlighten you, because the more that you understand, the better you can execute, and the better you'll see the results, and the quicker you'll see the results that you want. So I can't wait to see you soon, and I hope that you do become a member of my brand new membership community, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.